Hello out there. It's me again. Um, it's I know quite a bit of time has passed since the last video. Um, I have to admit there have only been two videos. I want to say two videos during the second part in the Iron Brotherhood story, and then I've come over here. I realized I kind of had to take a bit of a break to clear my head a little bit, so we decided to come over and get the and sort of work on the second version of Teddy Bear, the second take. Um, and as a heads up, um, I'm probably going to be cutting away with each picture because these are taking about 15 minutes apiece. I think this one took 15 minutes to get this one. So, I expect time jumps. Um, Between pictures. But yeah, I'm getting to I was getting to that point where the second part was taking too long. I figured I had to take a break, and then I come in here, and this kind of takes too long. It's just like I think this whole thing just kind of puts you in a lazy mood, and society is kind of ground to a halt. So it's like that's where your motivation is just done, is just ground to a halt. Uh, so it's gonna be number 63. I'm gonna break protocol a little bit, and we're just gonna get her set up before I come do the word bubble for this one. Whoops, I caps lock that. And it's too, I think, in the last couple of weeks, just for some reason, sleep hasn't been kind of as strong as I'd like, as I should say, as strong as I need. So it's like at the same time, I've just been kind of like tired and dragging for a little bit now. Uh, okay, gonna start over. So that piece is in the clipboard and not the other one. Yeah, it's like I'm rounding out the month, and I feel like I've got to have something on day one. So I think that was the thing too. Is I was kind of realizing the way I was dragging on United, I wasn't going to have it ready by the first of the month. So I think that too is why I came over here to Teddy Bear 2.0. Ooh, that's what I'm going to call it. Teddy Bear 2.0. Oh, shoot. I've been thinking of something like, something along the lines of Teddy Bear, an alternate universe or something. 2.0 it's like so standard in today's day and age, and yet It's probably a lot more succinct than what I would have ended up on. But yeah, with the second part of the Iron Brotherhood, I ended up. It's not that I only made 2 videos; it was that I kept deleting them. It was like I hate getting into politics because I know it's like one of those topics that it gets everybody heated, and you end up like you get so heated discussing politics, and then at the end of it, you feel so dirty just going down that rabbit hole. And it's not even you get into politics, but with all the coronavirus stuff, that's what I've been talking about. And we're at a point where, it's been 2 weeks now. The governor of the state um, tightened the restrictions. In like that time, and now it's at the point where like people are getting sick of it. It's at the point where people can't stay home and not work. Um, because it's like what they're seeing is a lot of business owners aren't eligible for um, some of the help that like hourly employees are, um, and even like the unemployment the unemployment benefits have been sort of expanded, but like the problem is it's still not getting out there in time. So like yeah, the government approved um, increased payments, and they expanded the eligibility to employees who otherwise weren't. But people still can't get that money. People still aren't getting anything. They're stuck at home, and it's and people are worried about how they're going to pay the bills, and everybody's just frustrated and sick of it. And so the protests aren't quite aren't quite as the press is making the media is making them out to be. It's not a bunch of people who just don't want to stay at home, think this isn't going to affect them. That's not what's going on. What am I doing? Undo. Okay, what am I doing here? See, this is what I mean. You get into it. Invert. Okay, maybe I'll get it right this time. And it's not like people are expecting things to go back to the way they were. All people are complaining about, all people want is like the ability to go to work under like the same restrictions and the same caution that the so-called essential businesses can take. So I was just seeing on NBC's nightly news tonight, they were showcasing like the businesses that were opening in Georgia. Georgia's been getting a lot of negative attention, and they go in, and it's basically like, all these businesses that they're complaining about, but they're taking the same precautions, if not more precautions, than like the grocery stores and it's like the salon owners wearing protective gear to an extent. They're showcasing a gym where they're talking about keeping people apart. That's all people are asking. That's all people are asking for is just, a compromise. But, it's like everything else, it gets heated, and, I get worked up over this for no reason. And then it's like in those previous videos I end up deleting, I go down rabbit holes that I shouldn't be. And then I feel bad and dirty about it and end up just hitting delete. And the video goes in the recycle bin. Um, oh, yeah, I've got a word bubble for her too, so I can do that. But yeah, and it's like, at least in this state, I think we've just topped 8,000 infections and we've just hit 300 deaths, which for a state this size, we're faring a lot better than a lot of the states, even a lot of states a lot smaller than we are. And those numbers, it seems like those numbers are largely coming from like the nursing homes and the prisons at this point. So, our cases have been shooting up in the last couple of weeks, and that's where it's coming from. I think people are seeing that it's not coming from, people crammed in the grocery stores. It's not coming from all the people cramming into Home Depot for lawn and garden. So I think, a lot of people are looking at that and saying, well, maybe it's a little too tough. Maybe we can ease up just a little bit, get some people back to work. Um, I'm not, but, onto the videos too. So I know I haven't let into it yet. This is Teddy Bear 2.0, and this is, I want to say this is page 13. I'll check in a moment. Um, and it's like the reason that I haven't had any videos from this one yet, why this is the first video when I'm in the middle of the book, is sort of because, what am I doing? Edit, paste as new layer. Since, I'm expecting you've already read the story. As you've seen, I've sort of decided to take the route I'm going is I'm taking it's sort of starting off the same way as the first version, and then it veers off when at the transformation. And I get thinking I probably should have done the same split as the first story, but I decided to do it a little differently in the second one. And I kind of always intended that. So it's not like I came here and said, it's not like I kind of decided that coming into this one. The intention was always that, because in the first story, all he's doing is getting smaller. I broke it up a little more into, three stages, I think. Whereas in here, it's only two stages, and then the other changes kind of fill in from there. So in the first version, oh, I got a sneeze coming on. It's like you kind of feel something tickling your nose, and okay, maybe not. Let's save this as, but yeah, okay, yeah, this is page 13. So it's like in the first story, because it was in two stages, It's the size change was divided evenly among three, whereas this time, this first stage is halfway between what he was and what he's going to be. So he's a little smaller than the first um, change in the first book. Oh, wow, this one only took 11 minutes. Okay. I'll open his layers. Um, Scale. What am I doing? Okay. But anyway, so there were 5 pages that I just lifted from the first story. And then from there, he's been pretty much naked. So, not wishing to violate, YouTube's um, terms, not wishing to get them like their panties in a bunch. It's. I've been waiting until like the first page where he's actually got underwear on. I need a new layer because I forgot to paste the other one. Layer to image size. Let's edit, cut. Now let's paste. Edit, paste as new layer. Invert, shrink, invert, edit, cut. Oops, tell me that. Okay, that cut. Okay. Merge down. And if you'll notice the different lighting, whereas he's a little more shaded and she's a little, there's a little bit more lighting and contrast on her. That's from the light outside the building representing the sun. So I think it's shining to some extent through the windows, and it's on her, but it's on his back. Um, let's see. It's sort of what I really like to do is like to avoid, I should say, is sort of staging something for a one-off shot that doesn't really need to be. So it's like I could, it's like my inclination here is to just do talking heads back and forth. But I kind of feel like, let's see, I kind of feel like I should go through the trouble of putting the fork in his hand and making it look like he's eating, even though I can't actually have him break apart the French toast or the eggs because they're solid props. But at least I can make it look like he's putting in the effort here to make it interesting. So I can put the oversized fork in his hand, and I can just have him wave it around. Uh, if he never actually eats anything. um, if I focus on the fork. There we go. There we go. Spin that a little bit. Okay, not that way. I want to twist it that way just a little. Now maybe a little bit more than a little. Come on, there. No, not too much. Okay. Actually, but I'm sitting here talking about myself, but then again, I guess like this isn't a chat session, so I can't exactly, so I can't exactly have like real time input. So like, who else am I going to talk about but myself? But I hope, at the same time, I hope you're all in, places where you're safe, or you can stay safe, or you can kind of minimize your exposure, or at least, I hope you're all in a position where you're going to be all right. Um, hmm. Let's put on this. Oh, and I'm all ready. Oops, I've got the wrong. This is the one I want. Okay. Yeah, this kind of does take a lot of trial and error. I gotta go this way. Let's grab the fork again. You? Yeah, okay. Hmm. Well, straight. Okay. So now I'm gonna have to reposition the fork again. Okay. Oh yeah, this looks like less and less. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, actually, probably can't see it yet, but this is. Come on, grab that. This is getting there. Okay. collapsing some of these. Um, uh, there we Okay, it's not perfect. What I'll do is just make sure that I don't capture it from this side of the hands. So you can't, so you don't see that. Hopefully. And I think for here, I'm gonna angle it this way, which means, oh, where are we? Let's start collapsing. Which means we're gonna be angling. And since that light is in the city, we're just gonna have to. We're gonna go on the idea that you're not gonna notice that that particular light isn't shining in the scene. Sure. Actually, I don't think I want that one. I'm talking to you guys, and I'm not even. I haven't been really thinking about what this line is going to be. Okay. New layer. Merge down. And let's save. I don't want to see that. Oh, maybe it'll only take 5 minutes without the. Although I doubt it. Yeah, so I'll cut here, assemble the picture, and come back. Okay, here we are. This is the problem with sets that take forever to render is you end up going away and doing something else while waiting for it. And then it's like half hour or hour before you come back. Oh, I don't want to open his layers. That one. So there's layer one. Let's bring in layer two. Huh? Okay. And we're going to go filter blur, Gaussian blur, and we'll just go, yeah. Yeah, that was. Oh my god, let's export. Discard those. Where are we? You. File, open as layers. And we want you. Layer 33. Um, hmm. Cut it here. Yeah, okay, we'll cut it there. Edit, cut, and select none. I know, I could be doing this while waiting for the next picture to render. But, we will take these out of the invisible folder. Expand the building. What do we want to do? Furniture and structure. There we go. Side to side. Oops, there we go. So we're going to do this. Uh, Layer transform. Yeah, I know it's. I'm at that point where I'm going silent again, and give it a moment. Not really. There we go. Select none. And I have to admit, a couple weeks ago too, I end up with this really weird urge to make brownies. Don't ask me why. So I go looking for a recipe for brownies, and then go out and buy all the supplies stuff. And at the same time, it like inspired me to go looking for a chocolate chip cookie recipe too. So it's like in the things I do to procrastinate, I go and pick up a bunch of stuff to make cookies and brownies, and then spend a couple hours baking. Yeah, not like the pre-made like Pillsbury cookie dough or anything like that. Like actually grabbing like the sugar and the flour and the butter, and then it turns out those things are evil. They are so freaking good that you just like sit there and eat them until you get sick. Like God, never mind drugs. Those chocolate chip cookies should be illegal. God. Select invert. Cancel. Like, if you're sitting at home bored, wondering what to do, something you can, something you can do is make yourself some junk food. uh, and sit and stuff your face with chocolate chip cookies all day, like it's safe. Oh my God! And see, this is where we're gonna. And who knows what's making this set take longer to render. I mean, it could be like all the reflective surfaces everywhere. You can like see all the cabinets have a slight reflection to them. The flower pots over here, um, the plate, the glass, all the metal. Like the sink over here, and the fork and the knife, and I think even the glass has a bit of a reflective surface. The island, even the handles. But we'll cut away again, and hopefully it won't be another hour before I come back. Okay, and we have our picture after more than 15 minutes of render time. And here it is. We'll scale that to 33. Yeah, that looks good. It's one of the things I did with way back when I was working on Jeremy's journal. That was probably the first of the story where I was getting like 15-minute render times. And I think at the time it was obnoxious, given I was getting like maybe 5 minutes to 7 out of the other muscle growth stories where I was using 3Delight instead of OpenGL. Uh, so I was so with Jeremy's journal, I was cutting it down by rendering the pictures smaller. Whereas, you kind of see I generally render the pictures bigger and then scale them down. I think with Jeremy's journal, I was rendering them closer to the panel size, so they so um, so they weren't getting cut down quite so much. But the problem is, it ends up the quality goes down. I mean, I wouldn't think I wouldn't think there'd be much of a difference, but there is. Um, I'm gonna zoom in. Like I would think you'd only get a difference if you were scaling upwards versus making them bigger and scaling downward. Ooh. Oh, I thought I was on frown. What was I? Oh, that one. So sometimes when I do the larger pictures, I end up like not being happy with how they look, and I'll render them like twice as big as I normally do, scale them down because they look better that way. Whereas for these like smaller panels, the 1920 by 1080 or something like that works fine. And here I'm gonna have be doing this in layers, so I gotta take that city day out. And this is gonna be 66A render. And while we're waiting, we come over here, layer to image size. Hmm. Select invert, edit, cut, and okay. And I do have to admit that there's a part of me that would like to go back and just do Jeremy's journal from scratch. Basically, like redo all the images from scratch, but keep the story and possibly extend it a little bit. Um, let's fix this. But, and I'm gonna have to resize this, aren't I? Yep, okay. Not a problem. We get time here. Control C, edit, paste as. I think the thing is, like, it's there's two Well, I think there's two things behind it. Is that, come on, get it. There we go. It's that, like, in my mind, the story is kind of done. I think it feel like, I think in my head I just drag on it if I try, if I did that. And I think too it was I think if I'm trying to think how it went. I think I posted the pieces. Yeah, I think I was posting pieces online. So yeah, if you were following me on Patreon at the time, then I was working on that one the same time as David's Nightmare, Shrimp of the House David's Nightmare. I was kind of going back and forth. I'd do a part from one story, a part from the other. Um, and it was just, oh, you know what? Let's see. Let's try doing the text without the bubble and then seeing what I can do. That will not really do it. Oh, that's annoying. How is this gonna break in? Um, and it's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. How about this one? We'll just grab this bubble, Control C. Edit, paste as, and well, I've never really been willing to get into it, and I kind of still don't want to get into it. I think at the time that I was nearing the end of, um, I would say around the time that both of those stories were wrapped up, I was going through a really, really bad time. I was in a really bad place at that time, for quite a while. And, and, ah, well, I don't know, like quite a while, but it was for a time. What am I doing here? So there we go. So I think the second reason that probably don't, that it'll probably just be that I probably won't want to actually um, consider taking it up again and redoing the story is I'm just kind of afraid that it'll be too much of a reminder. It'll be like too much of a reminder of a place I don't want to be in again. Um, Save. And besides, I've like, as much as I'm stalling on Iron Brotherhood United, I really do want to get that series done with and move on because I've been really thinking about, the idea of that idea I keep talking about for Burn Pit. I think I kind of keep brainstorming little bits and pieces of it, and I'm pretty sure. I think I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take the first part of that story into a very dark place. I think I will make that a dark story, just to sort of make his growth, the main character's growth, muscle growth journey, sort of a triumph, if you will. It's that it's not just a fun fantasy, but it's like, it's the character's recovery from rock bottom. Let's see. I should have just cut here. I probably will still have to because this will probably take another 5 minutes just for this little bit. And I have to say, in like the odd moments where I just play around with random character creation, I've got a pair that strike me as an interesting possibility for like a college age story. But I think so far I'd eye them for like one of these one shots in the Short Tales series. And I'm thinking of possibly using them for an idea I've mentioned somewhere. It might have been on I might have like mentioned it briefly on Patreon in sort of like the ramblings, musings, like the story ideas that may or may never be, um, but they could be a candidate for a story called, what was it now? Now I can't remember. Ant Serum. Ant Serum. And there we go. Yes, where the basic roundabout idea is the one character decides to, what do we day? Signs up for an experiment for a new muscle growth formula dubbed the ant serum. The idea is it's supposed to make you strong. An ant can like lift 50 times its body weight or something like that. Hence why it's called ant serum. The ant serum. But the idea is he gets carried. He is it works so well. The character in the trial gets kind of carried away and ends up like liking it, getting carried away with it. I don't know how how to describe it exactly. He sort of ends up liking the muscle growth so much that he just doesn't notice the side effect that his body is trying to produce so much muscle so fast that the idea is that he's not eating enough, so his body is kind of cannibalizing itself to produce the muscle, and he ends up shrinking. So it's so it's sort of like the weird inversion of these different tropes, whereas like where he's growing muscle but he's shrinking. And and that's the idea is like he likes the muscle growth so much that the shrinking isn't bothering him, and it's not going to be like a drastic shrinking, and it's not going to we're not going to go into I'm not going to go into the realm of tiny with it, but it's more like a plausible size difference. It's sort of like maybe end up somewhere like he is now. Maybe it's like at the end of the story, it'll only be say he's like a 4.5 foot range kind of thing, where the shrinking aspect of it is not too drastic, but it kind of helps turn him into like a little fire plug of a figure rather than the big lanky type like I've got with Corey or Rusty and Elliot. And it would be the idea is it's probably the idea is it would probably be like a college student, and the other character would be his roommate, who's, who's sort of like in that he's sort of in the weird position where like strangely he likes the change, but at the same time there's a little bit of a worry when his roommate starts to shrink. Maybe you should stop using this stuff. That sort of thing. It's like that whole confusion on his side, like where his where like one part of him says he knows this should stop, but the other part of it says that he doesn't want it to. Ugh. See, open his layer. This one. Let's reorder it and then filter blur Gaussian, and we'll just go okay. File export as this will be 066. Export. Close that one. File. Open as layer. This one is 066. 34. And I think this one will cut in the middle. I think. Nope. I thought I cut too much there. Okay. Unparent. Where is my building? Let's put furniture and structure. I think I can leave the outside on. And I'm trying to think of this picture. I think this counter is too wide for her to reach across. I want to do hands on. Maybe it's just me, but as far as, let's see. I guess, like, as far as the attraction, I'm kind of more drawn to the sensual aspect, hands-on kind of thing, more than the sex, when the raw, more than like the raw sex. So I kind of, so it's like, I guess from the sexual aspect, if you want to put it that way, for me, this is what I find more intriguing, is just is the hands-on stuff, not so much. I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to bend him and twist him a little. I think, did I talk about this in a previous video somewhere else? Where it's the journey, it's the journey, not the destination. you know. Um, you know what? I'm trying to decide if I want the fingers of this hand to go under or over this one. And I think under is going to be, yeah, under works. And let's spread it just a little bit. And the eyes just a little bit. Um, I think the frown's got to, let's turn that frown upside down. What do I do? Oh, I gotta take it off. Currently used first. Let's go narrow just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, okay, this hand has got a. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I think the eyes have got to go over a little bit more. That's it. Side to side. There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's it. Oh, except now this hand is going through the countertop. Okay. That, and then if I put the word, I can fit the word bubble up here, I think. This is going to be 7A because I got to come back here and take the city out. City day. Render that one. Sorry, I'm running through the line in my head and forgetting what I'm doing here. Girl will hold you in her arms forever. Oh, excuse me. No. Sounds a little creepy if you think about it, but not really. I probably should have grabbed. Oh well. I'm already doing this, so will. For those of you keeping count at home, what's this video going to be? Like a 2 hour? Going to be one of the longer ones, isn't it? I won't know for sure until I go putting the pieces together. Right, right. Should I someday do a video showing you how I put the videos together? Or is video editing pretty much a given in today's internet day and age? Just get your own video, like snipping software for your YouTube channels out there. Layer to image size. Let's fuzzy select and edit, cut, edit, paste as, new layer. Of course, sooner or later, just for the heck of it, dig out some of these characters in one of these videos and show you guys. What I've got so far. What was I doing? Edit, cut, select none. Yeah, okay, that was. Hold on. So it's like on one hand, so far, I've got the main character and his adult son sort of mocked up for Burn Pit. But then again, they're not quite finalized. So I think the last time I dug them out, I ended up making some slight, I think some, making slight changes to the father character. And I'm not 100% sold or happy on the adult son. So he's probably going to get some changes anyway. Before all is said and done. Oh, shoot. You know what? I think I've got a finger that's going through the shoulder, and while you probably won't notice it, it's going to bug me. So I'm going to cancel that. Let's see. Yep, the pinky was going through the shoulder. Actually. Oh, this whole thing is a mess. Oh. See, you're not going to know. I don't think. Tell me all I did. Hmm. I don't think you're going to notice it too much that her hand isn't exactly touching the chest, but that pinky was a problem. You know, now that I mention it, oh, um, all that, I'm going to change it anyway. Okay, I think is that going to work? Yeah, that works for me, I guess. Oh, and you know what? I should have saved that and tested it here to make sure I had enough room. But, oh well. I'm going to render that again. We'll snip, and I think I will come back just for some final thoughts, too. Okay, and here's the second layer for the last picture. We'll save that and open. There's my layer. We will go File, Open as Layers, grab A. Select that one, Filter, Blur, Gaussian. Okay. And then export as. And I think that's the reason why I've slowed down making the videos as this month has gone on. So it just feels like I'm running out of things to talk about more and more earlier and earlier with the videos. So it almost feels like, especially to just steer clear of controversial opinions, like Battlestar Galactica sucks. There, I said it. And I'm not ashamed. It's usually better not to. Let's trim this and see what it looks like. Cut that. Edit. Cut. None. This is a case where it's messing with my head. Oops. Yeah, see, that's not lined up. Now it's lined up. Okay. Layered image size that one. Edit, cut. invert, shrink, edit, cut, select none. And that's page 13. Let's save that. Image flatten, export as, and this is going to want to default to PNG, so we will just, there we go, and this one, pages, and let's see what this looks like. So you're going to make me fat the old-fashioned way, huh? I'm not forcing you to eat anything you don't want. I only want to take care of my teddy bear and make him happy. You can make me happy by giving me my size back. That won't make you happy, teddy bear. Not really. Go back to wondering if that next girl will like you, or if she's only going to use you. You know this is what you truly desire. A girl like me who will care for your every need. A girl who will hold you in her arms forever, keep you warm, keep you safe. A girl who will never let you go. And isn't that what we all want? That's page 13. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you got something out of that. And I appreciate your continued support, and I will see you next time.